this is something that took me a long time to learn. It is not about knowing everything. It is about understanding the story and enjoying yourself, right? And then if it's a conversation, it's not about knowing everything. You don't have to know that everything that somebody said to you. You just have to be able to piece together all of like the evidence and kind of figure out what the conversation's about. And then be able to reply and like chime in, ask questions, be able to like navigate it. The same thing with the book. Like you don't have to understand everything at all. Just trying to understand the general gist and enjoy yourself. And if you're not doing either, then you need to think of a different strategy. So
Yeah, yeah. At least the book gets a lot less pressure because you're not like on the spot if
which
someone's trying to
actually
say
makes it
something to you.
harder to do, honestly.
Does it?
Yeah, because the pressure of being on the spot makes you think harder and think quicker. It makes you more
Mm.
tired for sure. Like reading a or sorry, having a conversation, like being in Japan, for example. The first time I was in Japan with Judy and her family
Yeah.
was 100% Japanese, and I would be, and I wasn't working at the, yeah, I was in college, so I wasn't working at the time, so I didn't have anything to do really other than just be with them. Like it was kind of a vacation.
I see.
And oh, you know what? Yeah, no, yeah, that was during Tokyo Tech times. So that's when I was actually in college.
Oh,
So that
gotcha.
was a 6 month thing that I'm thinking of. Well, really, every single time I went there, though, it was just like overwhelming amount of Japanese and just no English at all and full immersion, right? And
Yeah.
having to understand the conversation. So normally I would just kind of sit there at that dinner table or whatever, or try to, we go to a restaurant with family friends and stuff like that, and I'll just be kind of sitting there, and they would ask me questions all the time, like, "Do you own a gun? Do you like hamburgers? You know,
Yeah.
all these other like, you know, everybody asks these Americans like, what do you think of the president? All these other things.
Just
Um,
like getting to know you questions or
yeah,
just general topics, I guess,
general
too.
topics and stuff. And so those kind of questions, being able to answer, most of them are kind of simple, right?
Yeah.
But being able to follow the conversation, like chime in with something like that. If somebody asks me, what do you think about that? It's like, okay, long conversation about some topic. And then they come to me, like everybody will be looking at me. 15
Yeah.
people will be looking at me. What do you think about that? It's like, ah, what? And for me, I want to get better at it, right? So I don't want to be put on the spotlight and not know at all what they're talking about. And
hmm
so I would make it my thing to just go into the conversation and listen, and then try to ask questions, like try to interrupt something and try to ask a question, like a
Mm.
clarifying question. And then often in the beginning, that was kind of scary. It was like they're having a whole conversation, and I feel like I'm sort of part of it, but they're not asking me because they know that I don't really understand everything. so,
Yeah.
so I like try to ask a clarifying question. Then of course Judy will be sitting next to me, like wanting to help out with everything, right?
hmm
So I like ask a question, and then Judy would be like, "No, that's completely no. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this." And I'd be like, "Oh man, like totally off." Because I was just trying to like follow what was going on, and then,
Yeah.
but you keep doing that, you keep doing that, you keep doing that. Like Judy and I have had many conversations too. She's really sweet, so she would try to help me with everything, like every little detail. And
hmm
if at all I was making a face, like I was trying to understand or whatever, but it looked like I was confused, she would tell me, and I was like, you don't have to tell me everything because I'm trying to learn. I'm
hmm
trying to fight through it myself. And then if I don't understand at all, then I'll definitely ask you, which happens a lot. And so I did that with her too when she was over here with my family and friends, because that's
mm.
for both of us. That's the most computational power that you have to use, right? It's like
Yeah.
being with other people who are native speakers who don't know how to speak Japanese or English at all, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
And so they have to, they're trying to have a conversation with her or me, and they don't know how to use either or. So it's like very interesting dynamics. But I actually kind of prefer it that way because, for example, going to Norway, they all spoke perfect English. So if I had any difficulty at all with like trying to speak Norwegian, they would just go back to English. And so I never got better at Norwegian at all.
Oh, they would just switch to English
Yeah,
instead of like
because pretty
explaining
much
or something.
everybody over there speaks decent, to some people completely fluent, English. Like comparably, oh yeah, Norwegians speak amazing English compared to Japanese people. So for me, I never got good at Norwegian. That was one of the primary reasons. Is I don't need it. Like I can use English and everybody understands me, and it's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Where in Japan, you have to use it because so many people don't speak English. You know, they'll try, but you know immediately that it's just like Japanese over in the mainland, like in mainland United States. Over here in in Hawaii, they do actually understand more Japanese than over in the mainland for obvious reasons. There's a lot of Japanese tourists and stuff, like people who live here and like Nikkei-jin, like the Japanese descent. So they understand a little bit more than mainland U.S., but
sense.
Still, like it's not much.